Hello everyone, welcome back to Kids Church for Term 2. It's so lovely to be able to meet up together, even if it's just through a screen, and to read the Bible together and to get stuck into God's Word. I hope you're excited because this term we're looking at Genesis. Today's story you'll find in Genesis chapter 11 verse 26 to chapter 12 verse 9. It's all the way at the beginning of the Bible if you want to go find it for yourself. And the story is about a man, you might know him as Abraham. His name in this story is actually Abram, but that's because his name gets changed. But you'll just remember that he's the same person. Well, our story begins with Abram and his wife Sarai. They lived in a place called Haran with Abram's father Terah. And God spoke to Abram. We don't know exactly how God spoke to him, but we know that he told him to leave his country, to leave his people, and to leave his father's home. And God said to him, "Go to a land I am going to show you." Then he made some promises to Abram, and we're actually going to learn more about those 3 promises that he made. The first promise is that God promised Abram that he will give him many descendants. Now, descendants means children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and it just keeps going. Secondly, God promised that the descendants would have land and become a great nation. A nation means the country and the people living in it. And the third promise is that God promised to bless Abram. Now, this word says blessing, and a blessing is a good thing that comes from God. God promised to bless Abram and to make him a blessing so that lots of other people will also be blessed. Remember at the beginning when God asked Abram to leave his house and go to a different country? Even though Abraham was old, he was 75, he leaves with his wife Sarai and all their things, and they arrive in a place called Canaan just as God wanted them to. And even though Abram doesn't own any land there, God speaks to him again and says, "This is the country I am going to give to your descendants." So Abram is 75 years old and has no children or no land, but God has promised him descendants, land, and blessing. In Genesis 12 verse 2, God says to Abram, "I will give you many descendants, and they will become a great nation." And we're going to hear over the next few weeks about how God keeps all of his promises.